Communication can be, well, tough. Sometimes it's an age gap, a language barrier, or something as simple as the mood you're in on that particular day. However, there's a different way of connecting with others. This isn't always verbal, but felt, with a look or a touch, knowing there's something there, but you can't figure out how to articulate it because the feelings are so abstract to you. Lost in Translation came out in 2003 and was directed by Sofia Coppola. It opened a massive critical acclaim and box office success. She later went on to win the Best Original Screenplay Oscar, and Bill Murray received his one and only acting nomination. Murray plays Bob, who goes to Japan to shoot a commercial for $2 million. He's having trouble with his marriage and seems to be going through a midlife crisis. He meets Charlotte, played by Scarlett Johansson, a 20-something with marriage problems of her own. The two of them begin to bond and connect on a very intimate level. This is a very relaxing movie built around conversation and tone. It's a real mood piece. A lot of people love this movie for a multitude of reasons, but when recently talking to a friend, I was asked what was so special about Lost in Translation. Why isn't it just some overrated junk? At first, I wanted to go into its exploration of loneliness, its beautiful cinematography, and its wonderfully subtle comedic moments. Then I stopped myself and tried to come up with something else. Something new. I had heard or read people say so many things about this movie. A lot of it really interesting, but some of it always came off as projection from people putting themselves into the movie. Now, there's no doubt that Coppola designed the film to do this in a way, and I can even admit that I'm guilty of this when watching it. Now let's talk about the most discussed scene of the movie, and that is the ending, where Bob chases after Charlotte and whispers something into her ear. The audience doesn't hear what he says, and for over a decade there's been theories and essays going into great depth about this choice. Some people have even made videos that use audio editing and try to reveal what's actually said. I always loved this moment, but I don't think I totally understood why. Sure, it's romantic, and not knowing something is always fun, but it started to really bug me that I couldn't find the words to explain why the scene was so powerful, so beautiful. There's a lot said in Lost in Translation, but what I think ends up being more powerful is what isn't said. Some of the best moments in the movie are when the characters remain silent, just giving each other a look, or simply existing together. Remember that scene in Pulp Fiction where Mia Wallace talks about how you know you've got something special when you can shut up around someone, enjoying that awkward silence, not feeling the need to talk about mundane bullshit? Bob meets this beautiful and smart girl, eventually seeing her as someone who can help him wake up from his dream that he's been having for so long. The movie even starts with Bob waking up in a car ride from the airport, and he's in bed all the time. I don't think this stuff is very hidden. He's been taking in all the majestic beauty of Tokyo, and in a way Charlotte is just as beautiful as the city itself. For Charlotte, Bob is everything that her husband in marriage isn't: attentive and warm, not showing any of the vapid traits of the people her husband hangs around with. Neither of their spouses seem to be very interested in talking to them, but more importantly, in spending time with them. He's a professional photographer and always on the go, while Bob's wife finds any excuse to get off the phone with him. The melancholy of this movie comes from both the setting and the people that Coppola places within it. Bob has communication issues throughout the whole thing, struggling to understand the Japanese language and its unique culture. Charlotte just feels alone, isolated, walking around by herself looking for something of interest. Now, once the movie gets going and this relationship is developed, the two of them start to understand each other. As an audience, we feel this happening, but it's never really spelt out for us what's going on. All of Sofia Coppola films deal with unspoken desire, but Lost in Translation cuts a little deeper. After I realized this, thinking about when he touches her foot, or when she gently lays her head on his shoulder, I then understood why the ending is so perfect, because it sums up the experience of watching the movie and what it really is, what it's about. It's something we have all felt at one time or another, and it's something that connects us as human beings. An unheard whisper that's understood.